Hi, everyone. Christa Nielsen here. Okay, so I am doing something a little different today. I am doing a live, which I don't do very often, but today I am going to be bringing on another realtor, and he is located in Atlanta, Georgia. So hold on one second. Let me try to pull him in.
Let's see, waiting for our guest star. Oh, there he is.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. It's so weird to see you and hear you at the same time. So, for those that don't know Matt, he is a clubhouse extraordinaire and an equally amazing realtor. So, hi, Matt. Why don't
Hi.
you start with a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you for the sweet words, first of all. I'm just trying to be like you, honestly. I want to be the male version of Krista here in Atlanta.
Lord help us all.
No, but thank you so much for doing this today. I really appreciate it. I'm super excited to have this conversation and just to see your face too. I mean, it's so weird how, especially, our connection through Clubhouse, has just been amazing. So I'm super grateful for that. But it's just so different, I feel like. But I'm super happy to be here and super happy to be sharing with your audience and eventually with mine as well that, how we got connected, why it's powerful, how things are changing in this world, and how they can utilize these things that we have like Instagram Live and Clubhouse and everything. So my name is Matt LaMarsh. I'm an agent in Atlanta, Georgia. I actually live just a little north of the city in a suburb called Sandy Springs. It's the eighth largest city in Georgia, with about 112, 115 residents. But yeah, super excited to be here and super happy to be sharing this space with you today.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Matt, so much. So, something that I've been wanting to do, and Matt is my guinea pig, so thank you. But something I've been wanting to do is really interview other agents in other areas and bigger areas that tend to be popular for relocation. So, being in California and being a California agent, especially right outside of Silicon Valley, we see a lot of relocation. It's happening more and more. We have people that are changing their wants and needs in real estate. They want space, their job has transitioned, they're working from home more. So they really want something new and different and more affordable. The Bay Area is a very expensive place to live. And if they can retain the same salary and go somewhere else like Atlanta, and we're going to be talking about price points, but it's fascinating to me. So Matt, you are our first guest, it's me. I don't know who our first guest is, but I appreciate you, and I want to hear a little bit more about your experience with people that are relocating, not necessarily just from California, but nationwide.
Absolutely. Well, and let's be honest, right? Like there's different things to appeal to different people, right? It's not just about a job. It's not just about the amazing weather that you guys have, right? Like there's just certain things that our buyers and sellers, as they're moving to and from Atlanta, to and from California. I mean, everyone has their own needs and wants, right? So I think it's first and foremost, we just have to say that because what attracts some people to an area is totally different than what attracts them to your area, right? But to your point, I mean, I think that, we have seen a ton of people moving from California to Atlanta. And one of the unique things about that, I think, is that, again, everyone has their own reasons for it, but the bang for the buck that you get here in Atlanta, as people have been talking about for years, I'm born and raised here, so I had no idea that was even a thing. But people are talking about, man, the shoebox for $1 million in California that I have, all along the coast or even in the valley or wherever they are, compared to what you get here for $1 million is night and day. So I'm Sandy Springs, a little north of Atlanta that, again, 112, 115 residents here. There's probably a really good mix and a really good diversity of types of properties here, right? So you have anything from single family, townhome, condo, apartment, flat type living, as well as property. You can get 2 acres in Sandy Springs still, and not totally break the bank. So our average price point in Sandy Springs in particular is about $700,000. And that's going to get you 3,000 to 5,000 square feet. typically constructed within the last 20 years. Certainly this is an older area, so what we're seeing a lot of right now is the one-for-one infill. And so you'll have this 1960s ranch that's torn down and removed. You know, might have been 1,600 square feet. Now it's 6,000 square feet because we have anywhere from quarter-acre lots all the way up to, like I said, 2 to 3 acre lots. So it's a really, really cool space to be in because you can kind of have it all here. You know, if you like condo living, you can be in Sandy Springs. If you like single family and need the huge house or lots of yard, you got that.
That's great. And are you seeing, I mean, here in California, we're seeing a lot of inventory shortage, a lot of issues facing, or buyers are facing when it comes to purchasing another home. Are you facing those same issues out there? And what are you advising your buyers on when it comes to the inventory shortage?
Absolutely. Great point and great question. So I have 5 buyers right now that are coming from California. And of the 23 buyers that I totally have, I'm trying to just level set with them, with all of them, right? That especially if this is the first time you've done this, buckle up, right? It's just going to be really tough right now. And not that it can't happen, right? Because I'm eternally optimistic, but at the same time, when you set expectations that used to be 3 to 6 months, now it's more like 6 to 12 months. Exactly what you said is right. What's true of California and really all over the country, based on what we've heard from our friends on Clubhouse, shortage everywhere, right? So what I'm telling my folks in particular from California is, yes, that $1 million property that you're selling there to purchase here is going to get you a lot more, but you have to move lightning fast. And so in your search that I set up for you, if you see a property that's been on the market for a week or longer, one of 2 things is wrong. It's overpriced or it's in terrible condition, right? And that's true of really everywhere. That's just real estate in general.
Yeah.
But here in particular, if you see it hit day 8, day 9, 14, 28 days, you know that it is just overpriced or it's in terrible condition for the price that it's listed at. And so that's how we kind of set expectations. So if they see a property on Zillow or even in the search that's been on the market for more than that, I'm telling them that might be a good one for us to attack first. It may not check all your boxes, but if you've got to be here in a certain time frame, especially, just make that move and be very, very quick about it.
Yeah, and that, I mean, the same goes for here in California for sure. So that's great. I know a lot of people are thinking about selling their home here and relocating out of the area. So a lot of times we talk about Airbnb as an option to really understand a community and really figure out where you want to be. I mean, people think of Atlanta as such a big place, but like you said, in Sandy Springs, it's a completely different community. So I'd love to just hear a little bit more about those communities that people are relocating to in your experience, and just what the demographic is that's coming in. Are they families? Are they older generation that's selling something and just kind of wanting something small and in good weather and all of that? What do you see?
Yeah, absolutely. So Sandy Springs, where I am, is one of the wealthiest zip codes in the entire country. So it's actually a really good alignment for where you are compared to where I am. But it's also I call it the small city within the big city, right? So when we talk about Atlanta, Atlanta is a 22 county area. So it's a big, big, big geographic area to cover. And so for Sandy Springs, that's really kind of spread out. You know, the average household income is significantly higher than Metro. The home value and house's value are significantly higher. The average in Atlanta right now is about half of what Sandy Springs has. So about $315,000 for Metro. And Sandy Springs is somewhere 600, 700,000. And that number just continues to climb. In fact, in the last year, we've seen about a 6% increase in values just here in Sandy Springs. And so it's a really good comparable, you know, geographic area compared to what you guys have there. But the bang for the buck, again, the land you get, the yards you get. The only other areas that I might consider around Sandy Springs, and I work all over Metro Atlanta, so it's very easy for me to talk to. And again, as a native, which I think I'm like one of 10 left or so, we've got a lot more people coming here from all over the country and really all over the world, is Buckhead. Buckhead's just a little south of us, so between me and downtown Atlanta. Midtown, certainly on the north side of the city, is very, very popular, and there's tons of construction activity still happening right now. And so those two areas, just as you kind of move down Georgia 400 from where I am north to south, Those are the 2 or 3 hot areas right now. And then kind of on the, the outskirts of those areas, you have Dunwoody to my east, you have Brookhaven to the east of Buckhead, and then you have like the Virginia Highlands downtown. There's a lot of these little pockets and really cool neighborhoods that if you're used to that kind of in-town living, you can walk everywhere. I've got clients coming from New York that, they just want to be in the city. They don't have a car. They have no desire to buy a car. And that's possible here in Atlanta.
Wow, that's great. That's unheard of where I am. So you have to have a car or you will be spending about 4.5 hours on a bus to go anywhere. And what about, okay, so food's important for me. So if I was relocating from MorganHill, Silicon Valley to your area, I would want to know what kind of food is out there. I mean, I know it's in the South, so I would probably gain 45 pounds and eat everything in sight. But tell me about restaurants out there. Do you feel like things are booming when it comes to just lifestyle there? Let's talk about restaurants, and then let's talk about kind of outdoor lifestyle, because a lot of people have a high expectation of that coming from California.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are blessed with amazing weather year round where it's just more wet or dry, right? And now you're getting a lot more of the wet part,
yeah,
from what I've seen. So yeah, as far as the restaurants go, I mean, it is, especially over the last 10 years, I feel like so Sandy Springs is a very young city. It was actually founded back in 2005. So really, we're only 16 years old at this point. But it was long a community before that, right? And what made this community really, really special was not just the all fried everything, right, that you would gain 45 pounds from, but the diversity of people here. There's some unbelievable Persian restaurants and Italian restaurants and these little mom and pops that have been here for long before the city was actually even created or a thing. And so it's one of the things that I tell people about, moving to Atlanta is certainly we have our Southern comfort food, if you will, but there are so many other options. And then as far as like the lifestyle, I think the biggest difference is we don't have the beach. That's really it. Like we have the humidity, we have the heat in the summer, like that's not really a big change. But at least here in Sandy Springs and certainly the surrounding areas, we're actually called the city in the trees. And so we have, if you fly your drone up over the city, it's just a big forest. And so, being 20 minutes from downtown, you'd never know that. I mean, if you go into my backyard, you feel like you're in North Georgia in the mountains, tons of tree cover, very, very natural. And you can't hear any highways and stuff like that. And I'm 20 minutes from downtown. So, but even in these surrounding areas, you've got the Chattahoochee River where you can do, go do some rafting, you can do some kayaking, tons and tons of walking trails and hiking trails. And the great thing about Atlanta, in my opinion, is that, we're 4 hours from the beach and we're 2 hours from the mountains. So really, if you wanted to take a weekend or even a long week, you can be at either one of those within a short drive. And you've just got so many different activities that you can do super close by, that you can do a day trip or even a short. I mean, I'm 10 minutes from the Chattahoochee River, or you could be in the North Georgia mountains in 30 minutes. So it's really, really kind of a unique position geographically.
I love that. I feel like I'm adding to my bucket list with my family of places I need to go visit. And what is it like being there? Because I know you have a son who I've seen on social media. Do you have any other kiddos?
I do. I have a daughter. Yep.
Okay.
She doesn't like
often.
She doesn't like to be on video much.
Yeah. I have one of those. I look like I have one child, but really I have two and one hides all the time. So what is it like as a family living where you live? I mean, how do you feel like the schools are? I have construction going on behind me. I don't know if you hear it, but this is the essence of live video. But just tell me how it is being a family there.
Yeah, I love this question, not because I have a family, but because people are always asking it. Like,
yeah.
What about the schools? What can kids do around here? And so, I think it's really just a phenomenal place to raise a family. There are great schools, and both public and private. You can do whatever you want, whatever is important to you. You've got Catholic schools, you've got Jewish, got really, honestly, a wide range of options for that, which is really nice, because if you get too many of one or the other, or you don't have good options either way, you suddenly feel kind of tied down geographically. And just where I am here in Sandy Springs, you got like 5 different private schools you can go to. You've got some awesome public schools. So whatever's important to you, I think is really what we should understand, right? How we should lead you down the path of exploring those options. And I always tell all of my clients that want to be in Sandy Springs, go tour the public schools. It may be a great fit, it may be a terrible fit, but go and try it at least. Because ultimately, and you know this, having kids, it really comes down to the administration. It really comes down to the principal and who's in charge. But as far as activities go, I mean, good grief. During non-COVID times, they have a, here in Sandy Springs, I know they do this in Woodstock and really all over the metro area. All of these cities are really understanding that we got to engage our community. So no matter where you move in Atlanta, there's something for everyone here within a community like this. But here in Sandy Springs, we have concerts on the green every like Friday and Saturday night. They've really expanded the downtown area here to really include a lot more community-based type activities, obviously pre-COVID. We're hoping that all that comes back. But one really cool thing that Sandy Springs leadership put into place was Movies by Moonlight. And so they set up this giant movie screen, and they'll have a Disney movie one night, and then they'll come back on Saturday night for like, you know, a more adult rom-com type thing, you know, for the young professionals and stuff. So they're really doing a good job of like engaging a lot of different demographics. It's not all kid driven. It's not all, you know, young families or young professionals or even the older, you know, baby boomers and stuff. So they're doing a really, really good job of that. And again, all over the city, there are awesome communities that are doing that as well.
That's amazing. I love it. It just sounds like such a tight-knit place and community that I can understand why people are moving there in droves.
Absolutely.
So thank you. And I guess the final question, I love interviewing people, but the final question that I have for you right now is, so let's say I am someone that's coming out to your area, what would you say were the first few steps that you would recommend to someone that is relocating from another state?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was having this conversation with someone the other day about vacation rentals, which whether you want to be at the beach or the mountains, it all applies, right? Come visit. Come try it out, right? Because it's one thing to live in a place, it's a whole nother to go there on a vacation. It's a whole nother to actually live there even, right? And to me, that's a really, really crucial piece of it. So come spend the weekend. I'll take you all around town, wherever you want to go. And no matter what type of living you're looking for, whether it's downtown, in town without a car, or you want to be out in the pastures of like Milton, you know, 40 miles away, there's something for everyone here. But I really tell people to like immerse themselves. Go out to every single restaurant that you can. And if you ever need recommendations on restaurants, that's never ever a problem. I can always shoot those out. But spend time here. And even a week isn't really that long. I mean, we've got the world of Coca-Cola. We've got some major Fortune 500 companies that have just moved here as well, from literally all over the country that are taking advantage of tax breaks and so on and so forth. So you've got the world of Coca-Cola. Of course, you've got all of our sports teams that you can almost count on always to let you down. And then, yeah, there's literally something for everyone here. But I tell people to come immerse themselves in the culture here, because there's music, there's food, there's culture just surrounding Atlanta. And I think it's why people are choosing to be here.
That is fantastic. Matt, thank you so much for being my first, but not my only interview with other agents in other locations. So I really, really appreciate you. And if anyone is thinking about that area, please do hit up Matt or let me know. And of course, I will connect you guys, and I appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate you so much. And if there's anything I can do to support you with this or anything, you know, you've got my undivided attention to help out in any way.
Thanks so much. All right. Well, enjoy your Thursday.
You as well. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.